long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
So, Empire Box Office on Twitter X posted this 2 days ago, and because it was Easter, I didn't see it. And Kamran did a post about this on his Patreon. And I wanted to do a video because I think it's important. Empire Box Office again has heard the Rey movie is not happening. Now, I'll explain this to you guys. The reason why it's not happening is because Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni looked at this idea and looked at the Acolyte and had to weigh which one would cause the most damage to the brand. And obviously a Rey movie, spelled R-A-Y, because I'm not giving her that even, would definitely hurt the brand much worse because it's going to the theater. See, despite what people think, going to the theater is still the biggest thing that a movie, that a project can be aimed for. And we know how badly the box office projections for TLJ failed by over $1 billion. The Rise of Palpatine barely made it $1 billion. Rey merchandise doesn't sell. It's almost like these movies were so bad they've become cult classics for, the 5 or 6 people who still like them. And it's truly an indictment of Kennedy's, not the fact that she had a vision for Star Wars, but her lack of shepherding the franchise has done to the franchise. You look at the ratio on The Acolyte. Now it's up to 77% dislikes. And of course, Pablo Hidalgo and the rest of these bottom feeders want you to believe that people are review bombing it. They're not review bombing it. It didn't make. It's not going to be a show anybody wants to watch. Nobody wanted it. Okay? Hey, look at for crying out loud, the trailer is awful. But they have to believe what they have to believe. Now, Disney right now is in a conundrum because A, the proxy fight with Nelson Peltz and Blackwell's, all of the lawsuits, and the fact that Kennedy and Hedlund actually kind of forced them into a position with the Acolyte. Not so much with the Rey movie. So you've got a pretty well-known, well-thought-of site, Empire Box Office, saying that the Rey movie's been canceled. It was one of the movies, like has been said by Kamran and me, that was quietly canceled by Bob Iger. And the reason why is because it's economically unfeasible to make a movie like this and to let Kathleen Kennedy have this. Okay, her track record's been abysmal. I mean, just look at how she screwed up Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. All right, and then understand that it would be economic suicide to let her have a Rey movie when the character is unwelcome, the most unpopular character in Star Wars, and nobody wants it. Disney doesn't want it, want to spend the money on it. The fans aren't going to go see it, and they know it, okay? And the reason is simple is that it's not popular and it would damage the brand worse. I mean, with the Acolyte, you can put it on Disney Plus, it'll stay there for a month and then or two, and then they'll quietly cancel it. Okay? So there you go. All right. And that's how easy it is to remove a tumor off of Disney Plus. With this movie, you could not do that with. This is what I would say a stage 4 metastasized cancer would look like.
In keeping with the trusty adage, starve a cold, disgust a fever. Dad, when are you going to stop blighting the environment with this atrocity? My God, can't you see that it wants to die? Let it go.
Urinal cakes? I don't believe this. All these years, the doyenne of Seattle's elite, looking down her nose at everyone in sight. She owes it all to this. She's managed to have her urinal cake and eat it too. As I think we now have... Hello, Marta. Like to speak to Maris. Oh, why not? Ah. She's in the final level of her guru's serenity training, the week-long vow of silence. Day 6. No, Marta, that's all right. She doesn't have to come to the phone. Just give her this message. I've flushed out her family secret. Hello, Maris.
So for all you people wondering why I like using Frasier references, first off, the sarcasm in the show is magnificent. And the last two things were the scene where Niles Crane discovers that Maris's family money didn't come from timber, it came from urinal cakes. Maris Crane is an unseen character. She's probably one of the greatest characters you never meet in TV. Okay, you couldn't find an actress to play that role because there's no one like that anywhere. So what you have is a great character in general. And every time I think of Kathleen Kennedy, I think of Maris Crane without the charm. Okay. And the reason why is because we have not seen Kathy since last July. Okay. I don't think she's been heard from since last July. And that's a BFD when you're the president of the company, supposedly. But let's look at her from a closer point of view, where she went on to Celebration trying to upstage John and Dave, because she knew that her era at Lucasfilm was ending and she didn't want to leave. So she upstaged them with The Acolyte and with the Ray movie. That's never going to happen, but let's just watch. The only reason why we're even talking about a Ray movie is that she did that. She dragged Daisy to Celebration when Damon Lindelof basically said he was out of Star Wars. She grabbed Stephen Knight, dragged him to Celebration, and dragged Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy to be the director. And without, it looks like to me, Disney's consent. And it's, one of my problems with this is it's insubordinate, yet she's still there. Why? Well, you know, the story is she has in her contract, she can't be fired for cause. And if that was the case, she could have been fired in 2018. But instead, they chose to renew her contract. They didn't. When you look at Iger dropping the ball, it's not that he dropped the ball with Star Wars. He let Kennedy do it. Because he actually believed when the Force Awakens came out that she was on the right track, and she wasn't. So here we are. So we've got Empire Box Office Online saying that there is no Rey movie coming, and it was quietly canceled by Iger. Who would have that out there? Who in whose best interest would that be announced like this? Bob Iger's. Certainly Jon Favreau has reasons, all right? Others would have reasons, but Bob Iger right now, with the proxy battle going on, would have bigger reasons to say the movie was canceled. Okay, he's not going to say it officially yet. In fact, 90% of the time, 99% of the time, companies will not announce an official cancellation. For some reason, they just let it die, which is, I think, stupid. That's just my opinion. Anyway, so we've got another thing coming up from Empire Box Office, and obviously they've got a good track record, and when you think about it, what's going to do the most damage to Star Wars right now? It'd be a Rey movie. It would give more ammo to Nerdrotic and the rest of them saying that Star Wars is dead, which is merely a hyperbolic dumpster fire phrase that they make money on. Okay, so I just wanted you guys to take note of this and have a good afternoon, and I'll see you around the galaxy.